Okay, I'm at the lowest entrance to the Guler Ice Cave. It's early October, so shouldn't be too much snow in here. I'm not wearing my crampons. I'm just going to walk in very carefully, take the easy look around, as long as I happen to be in the neighborhood. Sure is dark in here with no ice. I mean, it's all black rock, really dirty black rock, decaying vegetation and so on. Okay, so this way is over here is a dead end, but it's the biggest and easiest way. And then over here is not a dead end, but it's well, it's almost as easy actually, but not quite. And then this time of year, you can just walk right up and down the stairs. In the winter, there'll be snow and ice on the stairs, so it's a little bit more work to get in. So I'm going to go ahead and keep turning right to go anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, opposite of clockwise. It's a really dark cave, so I'm going to go ahead and turn up the brightness to 50% on my light. It's above freezing in here. I don't see any sign of ice just yet. This time, man, it sure smells weird in here. Anyway, this time of year I wouldn't expect too much ice. Come back in the late winter, early spring, when the days, yeah, I'm not sure when it would have the most, because sometimes in the spring, you know, if it gets above freezing outside, that could bring in more water to freeze. But then again, if it gets too far above freezing, it'll start to melt in here too. So I'm not sure if there'll be the most ice here in about February or closer to April or what. So if you live near here, definitely try to come here like once a week. In the winter, you have to snowshoe here, so good exercise. Not sure if snowmobiles are here allowed to this trail or not. Okay, so you see there is some ice on the floor. Not real pretty right now. Try again in the winter. But there's what the entrance looks like. So even a caveman can handle it. Alright, let's go up here. Like I said, I just have regular boots on. I don't have my crampons on. Ooh, here's a moth on the wall. In case you're wondering what a moth looks like. This is a small cave, so I only have 2 batteries for my light with me. I'm more worried about slipping. Even though it's above freezing, hardly any ice. I still have to be a little bit careful about where I put my feet. I don't remember if there are bats in this cave in the winter or not. Guess I'll have to come back and look. Alright. Oh wow, so like right here, just a little bit of ice down there in between the rocks. Not real pretty, but the cave's obviously above freezing. Although it did get down to like 36 degrees Fahrenheit here last night, so yeah, it's almost winter. Technically it's spring. I mean, fall, autumn, you know what I mean. It's October, northern hemisphere. See, like down here between the rocks, another spot with some ice. Over here, some spots between the ice. Interesting. Okay. Officially, I'm staying to the right, but I'm also looking for a relatively easy and safe way through. So, got myself killed. Ooh, here's another view of that ice down here. See, I wanted to go around it. I didn't want to step on it. Here's another view back towards the entrance. Notice down here, the wall's mostly gray, but up there it's more of an orange, brown, multiple kind of brighter colors. Kind of cool. Alright, now where was I? And you can also see, I don't know if I pointed out, there's some ice down there along the wall too. So, it's definitely an ice cave, meaning it has ice year round. Not that it's made out of ice. Just like, you know, a regular cave made of rock, you don't call it a rock cave. That is silly. Now, of course, if it's made of limestone, then you call it a limestone cave. Don't blame me, I don't make the rules. Alright, here we go. That's funny. There's a dark spot up there in the ceiling. At first I thought it was a bat, but no, it's just a dark spot in the ceiling. Boring. Now I'm not going to do any hard crawling. Ooh, but I'm going to look around a little bit. Like, look underneath this rock. Got some ice and liquid water under there. So if you're feeling really brave, hold on. Okay, I'm not feeling really brave, but I'm feeling slightly brave. Look at this. There's dirty ice on the floor, so it's a little bit treacherous here. But I do want to go back here and peek. I remember it's a dead end, but it goes back a little bit. Oh, yeah. See, you could climb back quite a ways there, but you know what? All right, you talked me into it. I left my backpack out there to save time. Wow. See? You can go back under here. Too small for me to climb there. A little bit of ice down here. But, yeah. And then up here you can climb over. Wow. Looks like you could keep going back there if you're feeling brave. All right. You talked me into it. Here we go. Oh, yeah. This looks like it's getting a little bit fun. Wow. Yeah, little nooks and crannies. Too small for me to fall through. Wow, but there's holes up there. Holes down here. So I think that's how it holds all the cold air to make ice. All right. There's a way up here, too. Wow. You could go up on top here. Okay. This is going to be a little fun. Oops. I'd be a little careful at the ceiling here. Wow. It's been a while since I came here in the summer. You could almost go to the top. I think that'll circle back around the way I was. So I'm going to go back down here. Let's see if I can go over the top. Same thing here. So look at this. It's a little way back under there. Or you could go up over there. So basically this is a breakdown pile. You can just climb over around all these rocks for a while. Kind of fun. Some people think it's pointless, but I like to look around, make sure I don't miss anything important. As long as it's not too hard, dangerous, scary. I got time and energy. It's only my second cave today, so I got some energy left in me. First cave I did was really small. Hate that when that happens. All right. What's interesting, the texture of this rock. Wow. I really can't explain why, but it's pretty. Huh, look at that. There's a gap. You could look up there. But I think I can go around the long way and check it out. So let me go back out the way I came, climb up over the top, see how that goes. Boy, this cave is a lot more difficult and dangerous in the winter when there's ice everywhere. I don't even think I've been this far in the winter. It varies from winter to winter, actually. Depends on how much moisture and how cold it gets. So down there is where I just was, and it was awesome. Up here, look at the colors of the rocks. Man, it almost looks fake, but I can tell you I am here. It's like that joke about how you're on the internet. You have to explain to a robot, I am not a robot. It's like, whatever. You know what's the difference between a regular bot and a robot? Oh well, nobody cares. Okay, so down there is the way I came. Down there is where I just was. Told you I could look up here. Or up through here. I probably could fit through down there if I tried. So back down in here is where I just was, underneath that crack. See, I told you it'd be easier to go the long way. So there's, if you're feeling brave, you could definitely climb down in there, but that's a little too tight for me. All right, so let me go back over here. Oh, jeez. Okay, guard your car keys. Look at this. It's like 20 feet down there and there's ice at the bottom. If you slide down there and get yourself stuck, it's gonna be a really nasty death. All right. All right, let's see if there's a way. I want to go to the right, but it looks too slippery. You know what? I think I'm going to go back down to the left. Forget about going to the right. See, there's definitely a nook back there too, but way too scary. Over here, now this is a room I can handle. Just my size. All right, but first I got to figure out how to get down. Even without ice, this cave is a bit sketchy. I mean, look at this, where I'm standing. I'm on top of a nice smooth rock. There's nothing really to grab onto. So I just kind of have to do my 3 or 4 points of contact. At least the rocks aren't that slippery. They're not the best. They're mediocre slippery. All right. See if I can peek back here without getting myself killed. Oh, yeah. See? Oh, jeez. Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks like it'd be too hard for me to get down there. I could if I really wanted to. But it's obviously got some ice back in there. All right, well, I'll let some young, brave man climb, or woman climb back in there and show you how it's done. I'm just going to skip that. Or robot. So we need robot cave explorers. All right, here we go. Okay, this is crazy. See the rocks here? They're not flat on top. They're all sloped on top. So if I'm not careful, I could slide down, which I don't really want to do. But let me turn around here. Look at this. A little bit of ice on the floor still. See, I told you this was an ice cave. Little hole on the wall there. Looks like fun. Here's another view of that ice way down on the floor. You heard the cliche, heat rises? That's not 100% true, but it's a good first approximation. So normally you expect the most ice in a cave to be the lowest part of the cave. But definitely a rule with lots of exceptions. I'm just getting up here for the quick view. It's a dead end. Thought I'd look around. As long as I'm the only one here, so I can get my video without anybody photobombing me. It's late in the season, so, you know, everybody wanted to come here already did. There's a couple outside. I thought they were coming in the cave, and they were just looking around for a place to camp, not cave. So look underneath this rock here. It's a nice patch of ice under there. And then over here, a little bit of ice, but not too much. Okay. There's that famous stairwell. Not a lot of caves around here have stairs going into them. So yeah. Oops, that was just a stick. There's a lot of sticks in this cave. They come in the entrance, fall down. Since there's caves, or trees right outside the entrance. Let's see here. How long is my video? It's been 15 minutes. Okay, I got some time. Interesting, just a little bit of greenery over there. Same thing, this rock has a little bit of moss. It's another view of the entrance. There is a fence outside too to keep people from accidentally falling in. Obviously a lot of caves don't have that. They're like, watch where you're going or you'll die. I don't know what this pile of white stuff is here. Wow, it's probably animal poo that's been covered with some kind of fungus. Not 100% sure. I doubt it's the fungus that kills the bats. White nose syndrome or whatever. Well, it sure smells down here. Notice there's a tree right outside the cave. You can't see this cave on the satellite imagery. Surrounded by trees. Covered up by trees. Alright, so over to the left is where the tube continues to the rest of the caves. So you could go over here to the right instead. Oops. Somebody left their hat here. Alright, excuse me. So you could go over here. If you're feeling brave, you could climb back in here a little bit. I don't think it goes very far. But yeah, it depends on how ambitious you are. Looks really tight. Let me see, I'll go up here. Yeah, see, you could try to crawl back in there. Or you could try to go over the top here. Right now, I don't think I'm going to do either one. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to get very far back in there. So I think I'll quit while I'm ahead. Or should I say I'll quit before I'm dead? I think when I was a little younger and skinnier, I went farther back. It wasn't particularly interesting. Alright, here we go. Notice all the little pieces of plant underneath the entrance. I think that's natural, both from the wind, gravity, and rodents bringing it in. Could be some litter for humans too. Like that little hat I just showed you. Whatever. Alright, so there's the way out. A way out. So notice this part is just like a regular lava tube. Not particularly interesting this time of year. In the winter, it's a little more fun. So there's a little ledge up here. I don't see any point in going up there. See if my camera could pick it up. Notice here's another three-way. Go straight through there. There's the easier entrance in the winter. Smaller entrance. So, as you probably guessed, I'm going to turn right here. Let me back up a bit so I can show you where I am. Okay, there's the entrance. Over here, notice it looks like the cave gets small. That is true. I'm gonna leave my backpack here to make it easier for me. So I'm very lazy. But it doesn't go much farther, but look at this. I can go over the top here. Or I can go the same way underneath here. So this is a horizontal bridge. This is a natural bridge. Ironic, I'm only like 2 miles away from natural bridges, huh? All right, here we go. So down there is obviously a dead end. Spoiler alert, this whole place is a dead end, but I want to come look around anyway. Okay. So again, there's that horizontal pillar. Didn't change. Up there is the way I peeked over before. Goes clear through. I've never tried to go over the top. That wouldn't be something I could do by myself. But if you came with some people, I suppose you could do it, but there's really no point. And there's the way out. It's definitely a crawl, but look how smooth the floor is. So it's one of the easiest crawls I've done. Excuse me. Okay, so now I'm back to the main tube. There's the entrance. I'm not lost yet, despite my best efforts. So, let's go over here. Notice there's breakdown rock everywhere, but it's not too hard. Huh. I was trying to look over the top of these rocks, but can't really see anything. But notice he keeps going. It's kind of harder, but like I said, the main entrance is difficult in the winter. So if you want to come here in the winter, you're going to have to go through this way if you want to see the whole cave. Well, I guess you have to go through this way anytime of year if you want to see the whole cave. Duh. Okay, so notice there's lots of gaps between the rocks here, so lots of trip hazards. Be careful. It's one of my favorite quotes from a movie, Star Wars. I'll be careful, you'll be dead. Of course, that wasn't about going through caves, but still, it applies to a lot of situations. All right. Wow, see, I have to climb over this rock pile here. Ugh, lots of fun. There's all sorts of nooks and crannies here, but you just gotta take it slow. Like I said, at least this time of year I don't have to worry about ice. This part of the cave doesn't have any ice. It's not a dead end. It's only the dead end parts that have ice all year round. There's no airflow. Bring in warm air. Whoops. Well, diffusion. You know what I mean? There's always diffusion. I don't know if you can tell the difference. I'm going uphill. What's weird, the cave's getting smaller. I can't really explain why. But anyway, all right, there's one way out. But you know what? I don't need to crawl right now, so I'm not going to. I'm going to just turn around. Notice all the dirt from the side there, from animals digging. Thick rodents living here. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the easy entrance, and then I'll go the long way to the rest of the cave. So I'm very lazy. Okay, so somehow I get to go over this rock pile. I was going to keep to the right. Not sure how well that's going to work. In the winter, it's harder because you have to take into account the ice. I have crampons for my feet. I don't have anything for my hands. So, 3 points of contact don't really exist if you don't have good grips for your hands. Alright. This probably isn't the safest shortcut. It'll be fun. I could have gone through there, but it would have been a tight squeeze. I'm not really in a tight squeeze mood today. Let's see here, 24 minutes. Like I said, this part of the cave in the winter, it's got lots and lots of ice, which makes it really, really pretty, but very, very difficult and dangerous too. And it's not even that steep, but it's got some slope to it that if you're not careful, you can slip pretty hard. break a funny bone. Or worse, your camera. Alright. The good thing about a cave like this, though, you know, the formations, they melt in the summer anyway. So if you're a beginning caver, you accidentally break a formation, it'll grow back next year. It's not like a limestone cave where if you break it, it's never going to grow back in our lifetimes. I think the fastest formations grow in a cave is sometimes like 1 millimeter per year, but that's actually really fast. A lot of times I think it's even slower, just depending on the water flow and pH, airflow, all sorts of stuff. In fact, with all the carbon dioxide emissions from, you know, fossil fuel burning, I wonder if that'll make the acidity go up, have caves form faster. Be interesting if somebody could come up with a formula for that. Not that I necessarily want to celebrate global warming or anything, but, you know, the glass could be half empty or half full. Anyway. All right. So, normally I wouldn't show the entrance to a cave, but this is a tourist cave near Trout Lake, Washington. So I'll go ahead and go up the stairs so you can see what in the world I was thinking. All right, so there's the lower entrance to Guler Ice Cave.